I'm so glad I ran into you. I got a lamb the other day. It's my first lamb, and I don't know what to feed it.
Okay, yeah, I'll help you out. Let's
Cool.
go look at some feed.
Thank you. So, what do I feed my lamb?
Okay, well, until your lamb reaches about 85 to 90 pounds, you're going to want to feed it a growing ration, which usually consists of 16 to 18% crude protein.
Okay.
And once you're about 85, 90 pounds, and you should be weighing your lamb weekly or bi-weekly just so you keep on top of it.
Okay.
And once you're about 90 pounds, you can start feeding this. This is a finishing ration, and the finishing rations have a lower crude protein percentage. This one has 12%, and they're usually, give or take, 12%, 14% crude protein.
Okay, so when I'm trying to figure out how much protein a feed has in it, I look at this tag right here, and it says it at the top somewhere, right?
Yep, just
Okay.
come and look at it, and it'll say on the list of ingredients
It'll say crude, oh, I see it, crude protein, 12%.
right there.
Perfect.
And if you look at this, same tag, and it has 18% written on it.
Right. Okay, I see it. Right here. Perfect. Cool. Well, that'll make my life easier. So, what about hay? Am I supposed to feed my lamb hay? I see people buying bales all the time.
Yes, you are, definitely. And preferably alfalfa, because
Okay.
it is higher in protein, which helps with growth and development.
That makes sense.
And you should be feeding it twice a day after you grain, and with a minimum amount of about a handful.
Okay, so a handful twice a day.
Yep. And
Perfect.
make sure when you're feeding that you're feeding at the same time every day.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
if your lamb needs to gain weight faster, or you're not making weight, then you can also start feeding 3 times a day,
Okay,
once in the middle of the day.
that'll be helpful. How much am I supposed to feed my lamb?
Okay, well, when you first get your lamb, they're not going to be used to eating grains or alfalfa, and so it's important to gradually increase the amount.
Okay.
And after 2 weeks, you should be feeding up to 2 pounds of grain. But it's important to not overfeed, because they can, if you feed too much alfalfa, they can bloat,
Okay.
and also if you're feeding too much grain too fast, they can get acidosis and also bloat.
Okay, good to know.
So when you start out, it could be about quarter pound twice a day, and then by the end of the 2 weeks, you should be up to 2 pounds twice a day.
Okay, perfect. Sweet. So, what other things should my lamb have in its pen with him?
Well, these feeds, they're completely balanced feeds,
Okay.
and they do have all the all the nutritional requirements they need,
Okay.
but it's also good to also have mineral salt blocks in their pen with them.
Okay, and where would I get one of those? Want to show me?
Right over here. So these are some of the sheep blocks, sheep and goat blocks, and it's important to get the ones that are strictly for sheep and goats.
Okay, so like this one right here is the sheep and goat, and this one right here.
Perfect.
Cool.
And make sure you don't get a horse or cattle one. Horse and cattle ones have high copper, and that's toxic to sheep in large amounts.
Okay.
And also you need, in the pen, along with the salt block and feed and whatnot, is you need adequate amounts of clean, fresh water.
Okay.
They, on average, they drink about 1 to 2 gallons of water a day.
Right here.
So it's crucial to have lots of water.
Yeah, I can see that.
Something else that I've seen other FFA and 4-H members do is have a buddy animal for their lamb. Sheep are very group animals. They like to be together, and if they have a buddy, then they compete for the food, and they end up eating more, and they're happier, and they'll consume more.
Gain more. That makes sense. Okay, cool. So, what kind of bucket should I feed my lamb in? Just one on the ground, or does it matter?
Well, it's important not to feed them on the ground. You should get a tray that's off the ground. It's easier to clean, easier to take to fair. And if they're eating on the ground, it kind of puts them in a bad position for their shoulders, and they don't build correct.
Okay.
And so you can actually get one of these, and this is good for when they have their buddy, because they can't shoulder each other into eating more than they need. And
Well, that's cool.
they just snap onto the fence.
Oh yeah, right here. Well, cool. I'm gonna have to get. So, how much is my lamb supposed to weigh at fair?
Actually, offhand, I'm not sure on that exactly, but you can call my good friend Shelly Livingston. She works over at the Silver Dollar Fair, and she'll be able to help you out with that.
Okay, perfect. I'll call her. Hi, is Shelly Livingston there?
This is her speaking.
Hi, my FFA advisor told me to call you because I'm showing a limb at fair and I'm not sure how much it's supposed to weigh by the time it gets there. Can you help me with that?
Of course I can. By the time you come to the fair, it needs to weigh at least 100 pounds and no more than 150 pounds.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that won't be a problem.
Alright, do you have any other questions?
No, I think that's it.
Alright, have a good day.
Okay, thank you, you too.
Bye.
Bye.